I am truly thrilled to be here today to speak to the Board of Trade. In putting this talk together, it has given me an opportunity to reflect on some of the great work accomplished in this past year. The title for today's speech is Stronger Together, Building for Today and Tomorrow. But before I explain why, I'd like to take a moment to welcome some of our distinguished guests. I'd like to welcome our MPP, Daisy Y. And just importantly, as Daisy, her boss, Albert. And while we're on that subject, my boss, Michelle. Everybody heard that, right? I'd also like to welcome YRP Inspector Colin Alexander. Colin, where are you? And our Fire Chief, Brian Burbage. Thank you, Chief. These two folks and all of the great folks that work with them are keeping our community safe, and we really appreciate that so much. Both our members of Parliament are in Ottawa today, and MPP Michael Parsa has ministerial duties, but I do appreciate their messages of support. When I was walking in here today, one of the things that I noticed in talking to so many people that I knew and a few that I didn't, was what an unbelievably great group of community leaders are in this room. Thank you very much for being here. And I guess more than that, thank you very much for all of the work that we all collectively do in this room. It truly is an unbelievably great group that's gathered here today, so thank you. I'd also like to say that we have all of our council here today. Regional Local Councillor Deputy Mayor Godwin Chan, Regional and Local Councillor Joe DePaula, Ward 1 Councillor Carol Davidson, Ward 2 Councillor Scott Thompson, Ward 3 Councillor Castro Liu, Ward 4 Councillor Simon Tree, Ward 5 Councillor Karen Silovitz, and Ward 6 Councillor Michael Hsu. These folks are working really hard in the last term of council to make sure that we're doing things collaboratively for our residents, and I'm really proud of the work that we are all doing. Thank you very much. We also have members of our executive leadership team here today, City Manager Darlene Joslin, Commissioner of Community Services Tracy Steele, Commissioner of Corporate and Financial Services Sherry Adams, Commissioner of Infrastructure and Engineering Services Paulo Massaro, and Commissioner of Building Services Gus Galanis. I would also like to acknowledge all the council staff, council office staff that are here today, and I really do appreciate all the work that you do each and every day, so thank you very much to the folks over here. And finally, I would also like to acknowledge, and this is something I think about every day, there are hundreds of city staff working hard each and every day to help Richmond Hill move forward and prosper. And these dedicated people deliver all of the services that we count on each and every day. So thank you to them. Recently, Council approved our new strategic plan, which outlines the priorities over the next 3 years. The vision of this strategic plan is a vibrant and inclusive city of neighbors. This perfectly captures the sentiment that the former mayor and my friend Dave Barrow used to say, that it's all about community. To me, this means that we plan to grow inclusively with the intention of keeping connected community that we treasure and while making sure that we are caring for our neighbors. I don't need to tell this audience the importance of a good strategic plan and vision statement. As a sailor, to me, it's my North Star, a constant beacon that guides me through all waters, calm and rough, helping keep our council and myself on course. Richmond Hill is an inclusive community, embracing our diversity and welcoming everyone. As mayor, I am proud to promote this inclusive city every chance that I get. I want inclusivity to shine through as we raise all of our voices, including those that might have been historically left out of that conversation. Richmond Hill is gaining a reputation in Canada and beyond as a compassionate city, and I am proud that we have contacts and friends around the world who recognize us for this important trait. I believe our inclusivity and multiculturalism is the superpower, and we need to continue to leverage it. It really is our connective advantage. For me, the City of Neighbors especially includes businesses and business owners in Richmond Hill. I ran my business here for over 30 years, and I know that while we need to grow, our community wants to see growth in a way that respects our unique sense of closeness and familiarity that we have fostered and includes the great economic dynamic that we have in the Richmond Hill business community. And it isn't just me thinking all of this. When Richmond Hill completed its new strategic plan earlier this year, the consultation process engaged more than 1,300 residents, businesses, and city staff, and this is exactly what we were hearing loud and clear. The priorities set out in the strategic plan will help guide the actions of council and staff over the coming years. The three pillars are growing a livable and sustainable community, focusing on people, and strengthening our foundations. The first pillar, growing a livable, sustainable community, is all about our city's potential and future prosperity. That includes making responsible choices that put our natural environment in good stead for people that might not even be born yet. To get there, we need to be a city with more housing choices, more transit options, and a healthy natural environment to ensure that we have economic potential for the residents now and in the future. We need a greater range of affordable housing options to ensure that all people can live comfortably in our great city while also being able to afford to eat at local restaurants, shop at local businesses, and generally support economic development in Richmond Hill. The city is taking bold actions to address this housing crisis that we're in right now by developing policies and programs to expedite development and create much needed housing. In fact, some of the actions fall under the Housing Accelerator Fund agreement with the federal government. Announced last year, this is a $31.1 million investment dedicated to accelerating housing development in Richmond Hill. And this investment will support 9 different city initiatives focused on accelerating housing development and increasing affordability. Our work is designed to remove barriers, enhance transparency, and expedite housing initiatives to effectively address the local housing crisis. It specifically involves updating our city planning policies and bylaws to support higher density residential growth, sustainable design and the development of critical infrastructure for new housing, streamlining the development approval process, exploring city-owned surplus land for affordable housing projects, and providing dedicated support for affordable housing developments, and finally, introducing financial incentives to promote housing that is more affordable to more people. Remember, this is all about us and our kids, our parents, and our kids' kids. These initiatives will be developed and implemented over the next 3 years. But what's exciting about all of this is that it will have a lasting impact, enabling and incentivizing housing development for the long term. I am proud that we in Richmond Hill have committed to building 27,000 new housing units in Richmond Hill to meet the province's goal of delivering 1.5 million new housing units across Ontario by 2031. In fact, Richmond Hill currently has more than 11,000 approved but unbuilt residential units. This means we've done all that we can, and we are now depending on the builders to put shovels in the ground and get it built. From January to June this year alone, we approved more than 3,500 units, so there is no doubt that we're doing our part. However, Richmond Hill is not eligible to be awarded funding through the Provincial Building Faster Fund because the program measures us on housing that gets built. Plain and simple, cities approve housing, they don't build it. Builders build housing, and the BFF is measuring us on a criteria that we have no control over. At the Ontario Big City Mayors Caucus, I tabled a motion which passed with the support of all 28 of my colleagues, insisting that the province revise the metrics and award BFF funding. I've advocated tirelessly on this topic with the province, and I will continue to until Richmond Hill taxpayers are awarded their fair share of funding to support building complete communities. But to be clear, it's not just about the funding, the numbers, and the building projects. At its heart, the housing crisis is about real people. There are an alarming and frankly heartbreaking number of people who can't afford any form of housing at all, and they live unhoused. During many conversations with my mayoral colleagues, I have heard this scenario being played out everywhere across the province. It's a crisis that impacts not just those who are unhoused, but all of us. Also, this crisis is not just all about affordability, it's about too many people suffering from mental health addictions. That is why, in addition to the important work on the ground, I support the Ontario Big City Mayors Solve the Crisis campaign, which calls on all levels of government to take immediate action on homelessness and mental health issues in cities across Ontario. You can learn more about the calls to the provincial and federal government at solvethecrisis.ca, and I'd encourage you to do that. I am committed to working with my colleagues across the GTHA to address the crisis. As I said, this is not just a crisis of housing or economics, it really is a crisis of humanity. Ever since I was a child, I've been very interested in the natural world, and I am proud and have always been proud of the continued work that Richmond Hill is doing around environmental sustainability. A few months ago, it was brought to my attention that the United Nations University Institute for Water, Environment and Health was looking for a new home in Canada. I worked hard to make sure that Richmond Hill could be that new home, and I'm delighted to say that the UNU IWEH is sharing our space at East Beaver Creek on the 7th floor. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our new neighbor, Director Dr. Kaveh Madani, who I think is back here. As the academic arm of the United Nations, represented in 12 countries globally, the UNU will work with academic institutions around the world. They will support global policies in water, environment, and health, and will collaborate with technology providers, startups, and innovators that are focused on environmental management and sustainability. Richmond Hill was chosen as a site for this institution because we are leaders when it comes to environmental sustainability. The city looks forward to partnering with UNU to raise awareness and make a positive impact on sustainability, and at the same time globally showcasing Richmond Hill as an environmental role model. Additionally, I was also proud to champion our city and its great environmental track record with the Urban Economy Forum and World Urban Pavilion to have Richmond Hill named as the very first front-runner city in Canada. This means we will be sharing our experiences and helping to promote sustainability and development worldwide. This partnership positions Richmond Hill as an advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and we're proud to showcase our commitment to developing more resilient and sustainable communities worldwide through the city's innovative and forward-looking policies and projects. I would like to thank and acknowledge the entire team at the Urban Economy Forum and World Urban Pavilion for their commitment to the city, and I think Cameron is back here somewhere as well. Thank you very much, Cameron. In fact, the work of our own sustainability and natural environment staff has also been recognized for their efforts to support and protect the environment. We have now a bird-friendly city certification from Nature Canada, and also from Ontario Nature with the Lee Symes Municipal Award for our achievements in protecting and regenerating the natural environment. And at the risk of bragging, and it's okay apparently for the mayor to brag, at the risk of bragging, in 2023, Richmond Hill further grew its tree canopy with more than 11,000 trees and shrubs planted through our annual Community Stewardship and Healthy Yards program. And a record-setting 12,000 community volunteers helped us clean litter from 100 parks and 145 streets and pathways during the Clean Up, Green Up event. And I want to thank all the fantastic volunteers out there that are really dedicated to doing great work and keeping our community the way that we all want to have it. And also, though, to the businesses that drive this volunteerism. Your participation really does make a difference in our city, so thank you very, very much. So, we can all agree that in a growing city, getting around from place to place is key to social and economic vitality. Whether you drive, walk, cycle, or ride to where you're going, we all know that it can be frustrating getting around the GTHA. And Richmond Hill is working hard to do something about that. With the new Transportation Master Plan, there is a comprehensive vision for the future of our transportation network, including our roads, walkways, trails, and more. It is clear to me that as we grow and more people use our transportation network, safety for all road users has to be addressed. On this note, before I was even mayor, I introduced a motion to give us more proven tools to address traffic safety in our communities. The outcome of this motion is our current traffic safety and operations strategy. Traffic is one of the top priorities for our community. But since 2021, the city has reduced speed limits in 33 locations where it was necessary, created 11 pedestrian crossovers, implemented 8 all-way stop controls, and prohibited parking and stopping in 51 locations. And this year, we are implementing 18 further traffic calming measures across the city, 3 in each ward. We are implementing the right tools in the right places, and we're basing this on an evidence-based screening exercise, and we will continue to do this to make our roads and neighborhoods safer for everyone. Through this transportation work, I'm looking forward to the increased connectivity within our city and will encourage residents and visitors to leave their cars at home and contribute to a cleaner environment whenever they can. This might also mean increased use of micromobility, such as e-bikes and e-scooters. The city is working on a micromobility strategy right now to regulate the use of this emerging mode of transportation. It's an important project because micromobility has been shown to reduce traffic congestion, and with fewer greenhouse gas emissions, it's easier on the environment. First mile and last mile solutions will help us get more residents onto public transit by making it easier for them to go from their front door to the bus stop. And as a city, we have set a goal through our community energy and emissions plan of being net zero by 2050. This is a lofty goal, and I know that we can get there by taking small and incremental steps as we strive to be a livable and sustainable community. So, pillar 2 of our strategic plan is focusing on people. That means bringing the community together through our programs, services, and events. It also means building a municipal workforce for tomorrow to ensure that expertise and continuity is in place to deliver the community's aspirations for the future. Focusing on people also includes engaging with the community. We always want to ensure that all voices are heard and contribute to effective decision-making. In part, this means considering the best way to reach and hear from our diverse population, including older adults and also the youth. Together with some of my council colleagues, we are making a concerted effort to engage youth. I was really delighted a little while ago to launch my Mayor for a Day event this year, and grade 5 student, Mayor William, did a fine job at City Hall until, of course, to grade 5 students, really important to be back for afternoon recess. It will be my pleasure to connect with the Mayor's Youth Action Committee this fall to make sure that we are hearing from that unique perspective. I do, however, want to highlight one youth program in particular that we enjoy in Richmond Hill, and that is Project Blaze. It's implemented by our Richmond Hill Fire and Emergency Services, and it encourages female-identifying high school students to consider a career in the fire service by having them spend a weekend with our firefighters engaging in real-life work and scenarios. I just would say, actually, that I did see Councillor Davidson joining them. She was trying to pass off as a, anyway. It's a great program, though, and I think it really is working to do the things that we want that program to do. So I thank our Richmond Hill Fire and Emergency Services for doing that. But focusing on people also means committing to truth and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples by building ongoing relationships with our treaty partners, and I'm happy with the progress that we're making on this important work. We are building a relationship with one of our treaty partners, which is the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. It's been my honor to meet with and visit new Chief Claire Salt at the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation several times, both in Richmond Hill and on the Mississaugas of the Credit Reserve in Hagersville. These conversations are opening the door to meaningful engagement and friendship. As a part of this effort, Richmond Hill was really thrilled to be invited to host the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations exhibit, The Outcome of War of 1812, First Nations Betrayed, at our Heritage Center last month. Just a few weeks ago, we also raised the Every Child Matters flag at our municipal office. Together with many staff and municipal leaders, we listened with open hearts to remarks from Jay Shea from Odeowin and Councillor Farrell from the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Council also recently passed my member motion that will see traditional Indigenous names added to signs for Richmond Hill's rivers, rivers that we settlers know as the Don, the Rouge, and the Humber. This is a gesture of respect and an acknowledgement of the importance of waterways for all people, and to support the ongoing education about the history of this area before settlers even arrived. So Richmond Hill is known for our great parks and green spaces, and we are very proud of them. They are a place where people can come together and enjoy recreation and be in nature. We have a park for everyone's taste in Richmond Hill, from Lake Wilcox Park to the nationally recognized David Dunlop Observatory Park to the most intimate neighborhood playground. Our parks are innovative, fun, and beautifully maintained. Earlier this year, we also approved the Mill Pond Park Revitalization Master Plan, which will update this very iconic park with great features like a pedestrian bridge, boardwalk through natural areas, and a new meadow area. This plan is the right mix of protecting the environment while expanding the park by connecting it to Stavert Park in the north to serve our growing community. I'm also excited that work is beginning soon on the David Dunlop Observatory Park all-season accessible overpass bridge that will provide better access for pedestrians and cyclists as they safely cross the CN rail tracks. But the park that I am most excited about will be on the lands near the Central Library at Yonge and Major Mac. These lands have been mostly vacant for decades, and I'm looking forward to finally having this space transformed into a gathering place on the hill. It's been a priority of mine for many years to have this space reach its true potential. As a result of my member motion earlier this year, the first public consultation on concepts for this new park will be this Thursday, October the 10th at the Central Library. And if you can't make it to the consultation, I encourage you to fill out the survey to help shape what this real important community space will become. Our final strategic plan pillar is strengthening our foundations. This means a focus on quality customer service, continuous improvement to support innovation, and commitment to evidence-based and data-driven decision-making to ensure financial, social, environmental, and economic sustainability. Data-driven decisions begin with the city's infrastructure. Our current asset management plan includes an assessment of the city's infrastructure valued at $11.4 billion. It also provides the framework for the efficient and cost-effective maintenance of city infrastructure, such as roadways, sidewalks, bridges, recreational facilities, water main pipes, stormwater management ponds, sanitary and storm sewers, and more. And before becoming the mayor, I found it very hard to believe I could get excited about those things, but I actually am excited about those things. The good news is that the majority of the city assets are in good to very good condition. The less good news is that we have an estimated infrastructure maintenance backlog of over $284 million, various items that need to be attended to anywhere from relatively soon to immediately. Provincial and federal support for municipal infrastructure, especially through dedicated, predictable, and sustainable funding, helps to ensure the state of good repair and financial health of communities like ours. Much of this infrastructure is key to protecting us from the impacts of climate change. Focusing on our economic sustainability is very, very important. The city needs to keep our budgets lean and achieve every drop of efficiency where possible with taxpayer dollars. Council is tasked with making the tough decisions when it comes to prioritizing. It's a balancing act between keeping costs low, maintaining services as costs rise, and maintaining our built infrastructure that we all rely on. This is one of the reasons our finance team has done budget consultations this past summer to hear from residents about where their priorities are for this budget. The discussions about the 2025 budget and long-term forecasting are now taking place, and the operating budget will be tabled on December the 11th. A dynamic business environment is really important to Richmond Hill. This means supporting entrepreneurs and small business, which in Richmond Hill represents approximately 85% of all businesses in Richmond Hill. And I'm really proud to say in this past year alone, our awesome Small Business Enterprise Center helped 86 businesses start, 24 businesses expand, and sustained 136 existing businesses. This work directly supported the creation of 90 new jobs in our community, and that is exceptional. Our Small Business Enterprise Center is partially funded by the provincial government, and it's an example of where partnerships between levels of government is really working well. To continue supporting the growth of small businesses and entrepreneurs, I've requested Associate Minister of Small Business, Nina Tangri, that the province continues to fund Small Business Enterprise Center while increasing the annual funding amounts for programming and core services in line with inflation and population growth. It is also so important to our dynamic business ecosystem that we have organizations like our Richmond Hill Board of Trade. Big applause. The Board of Trade and all of you here today are demonstrating our commitment to have Richmond Hill, they have to Richmond Hill to support the entrepreneurial spirit that lives here. I've experienced this Board of Trade as a citizen, as a past business owner, as a past chair, as a councillor, and now as mayor, so I know very well firsthand from those interactions that the work that gets done by the business community for the greater community is vitally important. As a city, we are also committed to partnering with the province for the long-term build-out of Richmond Hill Centre, which is where the Yonge Street subway extension will terminate near Yonge and High Tech Road. We have the Richmond Hill secondary plan in place and the goal of creating a world-class urban community and employment hub, and that will become a key destination in the GTA. I have now delivered 2 State of the City speeches and listened to Acting Mayor DiPaolo and Mayor's speeches for the past number of years, and each one of those speeches had an update on the Yonge North subway extension. It is taking a long time, but we are making progress. However, if anyone has a shovel and some time on the weekends, I'm happy if you could pitch in. Okay? Okay. Richmond Hill is doing amazing work, providing quality of life and a vibrant, exciting place to live. We are really hitting it out of the park. I am committed to continuing to advocate relentlessly for our city to ensure Richmond Hill residents and business owners get their fair share of support from other levels of government, and that it reduces our increasingly inappropriate reliance on property taxes. I am committed to ensuring that we get the transit we deserve so that the residents can move easily and freely around the GTA, while also strengthening our small businesses to have access to even bigger pools of customers. I am committed to continuing to promote our great parks and green spaces and supporting the excellent range of events that we have throughout the year that delight our residents, including the city-led events like Canada Day, concerts, movies, and the upcoming and very popular Merry Marketplace, as well as city councillor-led events from my colleagues. And I am thrilled to continue to offer my annual Maple Syrup Festival this spring. I'm also committed to seeking to engage Richmond Hill residents, my council colleagues, and business leaders like all of you on important topics that we need to discuss as our city grows and matures. It continues to be my absolute honor and privilege to stand up here and represent this city every day. I will keep rolling up my sleeves because Richmond Hill is really a fantastic place to live, to raise a family, to find a job or start a new business, to play outdoors or indulge in some culture, to shop or to eat out. Basically, to live a great, full, and rewarding life. I have always believed that we are stronger together, no matter the situation. That's the way I ran my successful small business, and it's the attitude I bring to work every day as your mayor. Together, we will foster our community roots as friends and neighbors while preparing for our future as a livable and sustainable city. We truly are a vibrant and inclusive city of neighbors, and I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you who join me in making this mission statement your North Star. Thank you very, very much.